Oh my God. My friend from Folkestone just surprised me at my door of my homestay in Winchester to drive me to Bristol. Literally, my homestay family, she shouted from downstairs, "Linda, your parcel has arrived," because I was told, my friend told me, there's going to be a parcel and it's guaranteed delivery by a certain time. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I didn't go out for my run, because apparently I need to sign for my parcel, which totally makes sense. Sign for my parcel to get it. So I open the door and I see my friend and I freeze. I do a double take. I'm like, wait. What, here? Like, you here? Like, here? I'm not in Folkestone. You're supposed to be in Folkestone. Oh my God. They drove all the way from Folkestone to here to drive me to Bristol, and then they're going to drive all the way back from Bristol to Folkestone. I feel so blessed. And I'm so caught off guard. Oh my God. You are my ride or die. Mwah. Okay. I gotta do something with this anxiety. I'm gonna jog really quickly. Oh my God.
Linda?
Yes, I'm ready. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, thank you so much for coming with me.
That's okay. It's been lovely.
Yeah.
We'll keep in touch, okay?
Yes, we will.
You be safe. You look after yourself. Don't do anything dumb.
They can have had no idea that 500 years later, people would be, the new civilization would build this stone circle using stones that they carried with them from 30 miles away. These stones weigh 30 tons each. All of these stones are smoothed them down, and they've lifted them into an upright position, dropped them into the ground. 1/3 of the height of the stone is buried beneath the ground. And then they've had to make sure that the height of each stone is exactly correct so that the top is level.
Wow.
So the sun has just risen directly above the heel stone.
These are sarsen stones, I think, which is more local. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And then these are the blue stones that they got from that really far place. But why? And I noticed that it's not triangles. Like, this is, if it weren't for heavy, strong stones, it's very easy to knock over. But they decided, I mean, this is very unstable if it weren't for very, very heavy stones. Would you not agree?
Well, I mean, they go very deep into the soil.
So they go underground.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So
So they dug a ditch?
So it's kind of like the opposite of an iceberg. So you have 2/3 above and 1/3 below.
So they dug and they put the stones
Yep.
and then they put the earth.
Yeah. So they would have pushed them up and tipped them in so they fell into the holes.
That's a lot of work. Can you imagine a guy pitching this idea? So the Stonehenge was made of two different types of stones. One of them was called the sarsens, and they are generally the larger ones around the outer circle. And they are super duper heavy, and I think they're local to the area. The next one is called the blue stones, and they look gray, but when they're wet, they look a little bit dark blue, and they are the stones on the inside of the Stonehenge circle. At least that's what I learned today.
Thank you for coming to your TED Talk.
Yeah. These stones are huge. And they tell the time of day and also the time of year. So they have a specific place where the sun rises and sets, and how they tell the summer solstice and the winter solstice. And that was the Stonehenge. It was really great to see it in person, and what I really, really recommend is that you download the app. It's absolutely free, so that when you go around, there's going to be specific numbers of where you see the Stonehenge correlating to something that they'll tell you, like a story or a little bit about the rocks or the way that things are positioned. So this is great. It doesn't take any longer than about 90 minutes, and that's if you take the bus to Stonehenge and take the bus back. If you also do the walk and you hang around, then I would add maybe an hour and a half to that. It's great.
That's their cheese.
Well, Cheddar Gorge is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The most Switzerland-ish place I've seen in all of England so far.
Yeah.
I guess people come hiking here a lot.
Oh yeah, there are hiking routes.
So this is the wrap-up of basically what happened that day when I was pleasantly surprised by my friend that showed up. I was supposed to leave from Winchester to Bristol by train. I booked an advance ticket, and then I was told by them that I was gonna get like a parcel in the mail. And I was like, oh, okay, just make sure like it arrives before I leave for the train. And they're like, okay, yeah, well, it's guaranteed delivery like at least 1 hour before you leave. So I was like, okay, fine. And then they show up at my door. And I wish they filmed my reaction. Oh my God, missed opportunity. Because I just remember opening the door and like, just staring like, is this real? Like, I just had a moment where I was like, wait, parcel? This is a person? Wait, but you're here? Now? I was shocked. Like the most blessed surprise. And they drove all the way from Folkestone to Winchester so that they can drive me to Bristol. But not even directly to Bristol. As you see from the clips, that on the way, I visited Stonehenge! I'm in England. How could I not visit Stonehenge? I originally didn't plan on it because A, it was too far, there was no home base for me there, and B, it's quite high value, I want to say. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just not going to see it this time around. And I ended up seeing it this time around. And the second part that we stopped by was Cheddar Gorge. I really wanted to hike, but we didn't have time. They had like a 3.5 hour drive. It actually took longer, maybe like 4.5 hour drive back from Bristol all the way to Folkestone. But man, that's the best surprise I have ever gotten in my entire life. Nobody has ever thought about me like that much and put that much effort into. I just feel like I almost don't deserve that. I don't feel like I deserve that. Like, how could I ask that of everyone? Not that I asked this person to. But how could I even ask a friend to do that? It's just, and I didn't. They just did it. It feels so good to be thought of. When I was in middle school and high school, I always found myself thinking of maybe others and thinking, like, I remember decorating Sandra's locker. And the next day, all I got was thanks. And it was great that she thanked me. But I was always the one decorating other people's lockers instead of getting mine decorated. I feel like the wallpaper all of my life. I always felt like option B. And if you read my blog posts or have seen any of my previous YouTube videos where I talked about loneliness and what it's brought and taken away from me, I started partially binge eating because of that, is that I always felt like option B. Nobody loved me. Nobody hated me. I was just kind of there. And if there was any parties, I was never the first choice. And I was always like an afterthought. Like, oh, should we invite Linda? Oh yeah, Linda. Yeah, she can come. If she doesn't come, okay. Just complete indifference. So to feel like, I just felt really special, and that was really, really great. So the recap is, we drove from, and get this, they were so understanding. When they just showed up at my door, they were like, is that okay? Like, do this itinerary instead of you just taking the train to Bristol from Winchester? Because if you're not, then I'd just be happy to drive you to the train station, which is 10 minutes away. Okay, number one, it would be so rude of me to say, no, I don't want to go in your car and spend time together when you've driven 2 hours to me to plan the day of driving me all the way to Bristol and then drive 3.5 hours back to where you were. I'm not a douchebag. I'm not gonna say no. But the very fact that they gave me an out and that option, and they were so almost like understanding of it, like, you're fabulous. You are fabulous. Do you have a friend like that in your life? Please comment below if you have a ride or die. I would love to know. So we went to Stonehenge. We walked around and I liked it. It was really great. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and I highly, highly recommend that you download the audio app so that when you're walking around the Stonehenge, you're not just seeing the big blocks, but like things mean something to you as you're walking around. And it kind of tells you like a story of how it was built, why it was built, what it's made out of, where the rocks came from. I don't know, like how this guy pitched making the Stonehenge, because it sounds like a suicide mission. Like this, some dude said, let's get rocks from a different city, but not like rocks, like big rocks, and bring it over here and just like set it up in the middle of nowhere and put them on top, stack them on top of each other. Not even in like a triangle pyramid structural way. No, it's like a rectangle. And if the rocks weren't heavy, I mean, it could literally just fall over. Let's do that. And let's I don't know. Let's do that. Who's in? Visiting Stonehenge was definitely surreal. Such an impromptu surprise to me, and pleasantly so. Stay tuned for the next vlog as my adventures in England continue, and I will be headed to Bristol.